Hi, Jankar sir. So, shall we start, Jayanti? Many people have joined. Many of them have joined. Yeah. So, hi everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Bonsaipedia. So, I think after a long time, this is the first time I'm again I'm this is the first time I'm doing a live show for you all. So today's live show, what I exactly want you to do is I'm going to introduce this species to all of you. This is called the Pemphis acidula. This is very famous in Indonesia. So if you have any questions, kindly just write it down over there in the comment section, and Jayanti is here to help me out. She will read it out to me, and I will definitely answer your questions. So before I begin, I just want to tell you exactly a bit about this specimen that I have over here. Right now, this is a 3-year-old specimen. I got it in 2016 December. I got it, and when I got it, it was like pencil thick, and it was developed from a cutting. Pemphis, actually, I was a little very skeptical about whether it is going to work out for me or not, but I was very crazy to have it actually. And frankly speaking, now it is an inch thick. In 3 years, it has become an inch thick. You can see the trunk over here. You can see the trunk over there. It is an inch thick and growing very well for me. So that is the reason I was day before yesterday. I mean, yesterday I had put it onto the table and I was about to work on it, and then suddenly I thought, why don't I introduce it to all of you so that you can understand this much better, and maybe you all would love to have this as part of your collection, because this has become another favorite of mine after the way I've seen it growing. So that's as much as I really want to tell you about this specimen. But now I want to tell you about the introduction of this plant and the characteristics of this plant. So this is called the Pemphis acidula. This is usually found in the mangroves. It is usually found in the mangroves in the sense is by the seaside, and it is very famous in the Asian countries. It's very famous in the Asian countries, very predominant in India. You find it in the Lakshadweep mangrove area. You find it. You don't find it because when I went to the mangroves, which I have over here, trying to search for this specimen, I was not able to get it. Many of you watching me, quite a few of you are there from Sri Lanka. It's available in your Sri Lankan mangroves. If you can get it over there, it's going to be very interesting for you all. Try to introduce this specimen into your bonsai because it's an amazing specimen. The leaf is very proportionate. The flowers are so good. After the flowers, it gives you red color fruits. Of course, the fruits happen only when the tree reaches certain maturity. Otherwise, I don't think the fruits are there because I haven't yet got the fruits as yet. But I know that it gives a lot of red color fruits, which are very attractive when it fruits. So regarding this, there are two ways of taking care of a Pemphis. The first thing you always have to remember is a Pemphis. Uh, if you get it from the wild, that is a Yamadori. It requires a lot of salt water gradually as you are growing. As you are growing it, like weekly, you would require to um, give it salt water for it to sustain because it is from the sea. So you need to while I'm talking, I'll be working on the plant also, and I'll be telling you. So you need to give it salt water once a week if you have got if you've got your plant from the mangrove. But if your plant is from a cutting, there is no requirement for you to give. There is no requirement for you to give salt water to it. So my personal recommendation, rather than getting the one from the sea coast, from the mangrove, my serious advice would be try finding a cutting. This was made from a cutting, so I don't have to give it any sort of salt water or anything like that way. The best part about the Pemphis acidula is The Pemphis acidula is a succulent as well as a hardwood plant. The reason why you call it a succulent mainly is because if you look at the leaf, of the Pemphis, it is thick and fleshy. It is thick and fleshy, like the jade plant. Like the jade plant, it is nice and thick and fleshy. And if you look at the wood is very, very hard. It is not like a succulent, like it's not like the jade or like the baobab. It's not that way. It's a very, very hard wood. And the best part of this is if you usually when you pinch the wood of any tree, it is green in color inside. But for the Pemphis, when you pinch it, it is red in color inside. So you sometimes when you do it the first time, you think that the tree is bleeding. It gives you that feeling. That red, it is deep red, blood red in color. So very, very interesting. Lot of flowers it gives throughout the year. I find a lot of flower on this variety. I'm not able to still differentiate when it's the dormancy period for this because I've never seen it going to sleep. It's been like continuously been growing for me. So I've not got that. I've not got that time to see it where it has been sleeping. So even if you look at it now, it is winter for all of us. Winter in the sense in India, it is autumn as well. So in autumn, usually our plants go to sleep, but then this hasn't gone to sleep. It's growing quite crazy, and I haven't found it going into dormancy so far. The second thing I really want to tell you all about this is the propagation. The propagation for the Pemphis is mainly with cuttings. You can do it with cuttings. You can do it with air layering. You can also do it with the seeds. Every fruit that comes, when I had tried to study a little bit about it, what they say is that every fruit that comes out of that the Pemphis gives you, each fruit consists of at least 10 seeds, and you can propagate those seeds, and you can make it look, and you can make smaller plants out of them. That is what it says on the internet when I went doing my research while I was growing this plant. So propagation is either by cutting or by air layering, or you can do it by seed as well. Very good plant for those of you who are interested in gin and shari. This is a very, very good material for gin and shari because it takes gin and shari very, very well. Those of you who want to see how the gin and shari works on Pemphis, all you have to do is go to Google and you can Google over there Pemphis acidula bonsai, and you will see a lot of Indonesian bonsai. This species was actually made famous by the Indonesians. It was there for quite a long time, but then it hasn't yet come to India, but very, very few people have it in India. I don't know the reason why it hasn't come to, it hasn't become popular in India all these years. But after I started working, I thought that, this was one specimen that really needs to be promoted because it does so well. Even I have, while wiring this tree, even I have cracked branches. All I did was when you crack branches of a Pemphis, all you have to do is put it back into the same position like this. Suppose this is the crack. Suppose this is the crack. You put it back into the same position this way. And what you do is take thin wire, the thinnest wire you take, and tightly bind both these. Tightly bind is no problem at all. So you don't have to be bothered about breaking this variety because it gets back to you as quick as possible. If you look at this branch over here, it actually cracked. And I have joined it using the same wire over here. I've used the same tiny wire. I've used it and I've kind of bound it so that the crack comes back, and now it is healed and the branch is fine and it's growing quite healthy over here. So that is why I always say, this species, what I like most about it is The leaf is very, very proportionate. You don't have to do any you don't have to think about any leaf reduction in it because already the leaf is small. So you don't have to bother much about reducing the leaves. You can just go ahead, you can start doing the bonsai. Apart from that, it is very, very useful for medium size courtyard bonsais. You can make very good courtyard bonsais because if you see the Indonesian bonsais, most of them are from the wild. Most of them are from the wild, and they are Yamadoris. And what happens is they're quite huge. They're quite huge. So you can make courtyard bonsais out of it. You can make a large bonsai. You can make a medium bonsai. You can make a shohen. Even it's very good for mames, and also it is very good for shitos. So one specimen that is very, very suitable for all all sizes of bonsai, and flowers very, very easily. You don't need to really give it extra nutrition to make it flower or make it fruit because I've not been doing that. All I did was I was allowing it to grow wild from since when I got it in 2016. I was just allowing it to grow wild. Once it had matured quite a lot, what I did was I gave it a real hard trunk chop right on top over here. I gave it a real hard trunk chop because I wanted to make it into a cascade because it's a flowering and fruiting variety. And I thought, being a flowering and fruiting variety, if I have a cascade, I'll have a lot of pads of different levels, and I'll have a lot of fruits and a lot of flowers showing, and I can show a lot of fruits hanging over there. So I had that kind of an impression in my mind, and that is when I thought I'll make it into a cascade. So this has already been trained once. I have done the initial training, that is the primary branches. Right now I'm doing the secondary branches, that is the second styling. So that means it is on the second stage right now. And I think in another year's time or another year and a half, I'm sure I can get this into a bonsai pot because it will be almost ready for a bonsai pot because already it has gathered quite a lot of foliage. It has gathered quite a lot of foliage, and I don't have to really worry about it growing more. And maybe the minor details I can do it in the bonsai pot rather than doing it in the training bag itself. I make all my bonsai in training bags or training pots. I don't do it directly in bonsai pots because once you do it in training bags or training pots, the growth is very, very vigorous, and you can achieve your bonsai much quicker than when you try to put a tiny plant into a bonsai pot and start trying to train it into a bonsai. So my serious advice for those of you who are coming newly into bonsai, don't waste your time doing it in a bonsai pot. Always put it in a training pot and do it like that way. And what happens is you end up getting your bonsai faster compared to doing it in a bonsai pot. Now, the next thing about the Pemphis, what you have to know is about the defoliation. Always remember, any succulent variety, do not go for 100% defoliation. Go for partial defoliation. Partial defoliation means keeping some leaf and removing the other leaf. Removing a major portion of the leaf, but keeping a few leaves there for sure. That is what you mean by partial defoliation for those of you who do not know. Now, like I told you, the Pemphis is a cross between a succulent and a hardwood tree. So since the leaves are a succulent variety, I have tried to defoliate one particular branch I was trying to study whether it takes complete defoliation or partial defoliation. So how I do my study when I want to learn about a particular plant is I'll take one particular branch which of that particular tree which I feel I do not want as part of the design. Usually it will be the branches which are there on the taper portion, the sacrificial branches. And what I do is I defoliate the sacrificial branch. I'll defoliate one sacrificial branch 100%, and I will defoliate another sacrificial branch partially. And I will kind of observe which is working better. And if the 100% also gives out new shoots, it means that your plant, can take 100% defoliation. So I did do that on this particular specimen, but when I did it, the sacrificial branch died. So that told me that I think it doesn't take 100% defoliation. So partial defoliation works very, very nicely on this, and you can actually kind of get good ramification if you do partial defoliation on your trees. As you all know, defoliation means for ramification at the training stage. But once your bonsai is ready, the defoliation, the purpose of defoliation goes into leaf reduction. So takes good partial defoliation and also shoots out very, very good foliage. It shoots out when you do a defoliation, partial defoliation to this tree. Another thing I wanted to make very clear to all of you was, if you notice the cutting over here, can you see? I hope all of you can see the cutting over here. If you notice the cutting over here, Pemphis has the habit to give you opposite shoots. That means you get 2 shoots here, you get 2 shoots over here, you get 2 shoots over here, you get 2 shoots over here. Another thing that I have observed, I usually tell most of my people in the beginners classes and all that, what I have observed is every new shoot that comes out, it doesn't only happen in Pemphis. You can apply this theory on most of your plants. What is it is, every shoot that comes has something known as a mother leaf. Known as a mother leaf. So if you look at it, this shoot over here has the mother leaf over here. If you look at this shoot over here on this side, it has its mother leaf over here. Now suppose I remove the mother leaf of this side. Now what happens is, the branch on this side, the shoot that is coming on this side grows very slow compared to the growth of the one which has the mother leaf. This technique is working so nicely. So suppose you want a particular branch to grow very slowly, all you have to do is pluck off that particular mother leaf. If you pluck off that particular mother leaf, the growth on this side, you can remove. The growth on this side now reduces, and the growth on this side of your branch increases like crazy. I have been observing this mother leaf on many of the plants that I have. Like, what exactly does it do? So what exactly this mother leaf, what exactly it does is, it actually, when the shoot comes out and the shoot starts growing, the mother leaf is always there to provide that particular shoot till it is mature enough for it to develop to give it its nutrition, its food, and give it its strength. This is the mother leaf that helps it out. So what happens is, it's just like, how a mother takes care of her children. So the same way, now once this branch, this new shoot has grown to a certain level and is able to sustain by itself, this mother leaf automatically drops. It automatically drops. That means the purpose of it taking care of that particular branch has been over. So what happens is, now then, once the mother leaf drops, this particular shoot that comes out, it starts taking all the nutrition and it starts living by itself. So this is one good method where you can manipulate the growth of your branches, you can manipulate the growth of your twigs when you come to the third stage of your bonsai. That is, when you come to the tertiary branches, this is a good manipulation which works out for me. I use it a lot on most of my Shoguns and Mabis that I do, and it is working very, very nicely. So those of you who would love to try this kind of a method, do try it, and please let us know how it is working for you all, so that you all will be able to at least others will get motivated to do it. The next thing that I wanted to tell you about the Pemphis is the soil that it requires. Now, always remember the Pemphis is found on the sea coast. The sea coast means it is sandy, just like the casuarina, it is sandy. So what happens is the similar manner, the Pemphis likes more sandy soil rather than more of the red soil that we use. More than that it likes. And if your specimen is from the sea coast, I mean to say, if you have got a yamadori and if you are growing it, it is working, because when I went to Indonesia and I found out, they were telling me that to mix sea sand in that particular plant when it is a yamadori, because the sea sand helps the plant to grow much better, because it is from a yamadori. And a yamadori, always remember, a yamadori of Pemphis, weekly you have to give it salt water. Until and unless you give that, your plant won't remain healthy. So weekly you have to give it salt water to keep it healthy. But a cutting like this way, which is grown from a cutting, you don't have to bother about its beach soil, the beach sand, you don't have to bother about salt. In India right now, I think Sailesh Kapadia is propagating these plants right now. So it will be available with him for those of you who are interested. People from Sri Lanka, I think it's high time you run to the mangroves, catch a few. And I've also heard that in certain areas, the Pemphis has become an endangered species. You're not finding it a lot also there, because of the kind of the development, and the mangroves are vanishing. So what is happening is it is becoming an endangered species. So I think before it becomes an endangered species, we all bonsai people should start propagating it and kind of bring it back, because it's an amazing specimen for bonsai. And trust me, you will love it once you have it in your collection. Very easy to grow. But the only problem with the Pemphis is it likes a lot of humidity. But those of you who do not have humidity, do not worry about it. All you have to do is keep a bowl of water just next to it, under the plant. Just keep a bowl of water in such a way that sun is hitting that bowl of water directly. And what happens is that evaporation of water will create the required humidity for this, and automatically your plant will grow. Another good method of creating humidity for your plants is, those of you who have lawns at home, your carpet lawn in your gardens, those of you who have that, all you have to do is take your plants, put it on the lawn and water your plants, and leave it during the daytime on the lawn. What happens is, now your lawn gets wet, and in the morning, once the sunshine comes up, a lot of humidity comes out from the lawn, because the water that is there underneath your lawn starts evaporating, and that creates a lot of excess humidity for your plants. So ficuses also, if you want a lot of aerial roots, just put your ficuses on a piece of lawn, water it, allow the sunshine to hit the lawn, and you can see a lot of, because of the humidity that is coming out from the lawn, you can see a lot of the aerial roots coming out of your ficus. So it's all about that. So, and also regarding the Pemphis, it takes very good root pruning. You don't have to be scared about the root pruning. It takes amazing root pruning. I haven't had any problem, because I have done a real drastic chop when I was transferring it into this bag. I did a real drastic chop, and it worked very well, and it didn't stress out. It didn't stress out at all, so I didn't have any problem with that. So don't have to bother. Whenever you prune a Pemphis, always remember, this is the branch. when you prune the Pemphis, always make sure there is at least one or two leaves left behind. At least one or two leaves left behind. Do not prune the Pemphis without any leaf left behind. Otherwise, you'll end up having dieback. And another thing you always have to remember is do not keep the soil very, very soggy. Always give the soil a chance to dry up, because until and unless you give it the chance to dry up, only then the plant is kind of what do you say? It's kind of growing very healthy. But when I'm keeping the soil very soggy, I can see a lot of leaf drop that is happening on the plant. So it's very, very easy to maintain the Pemphis, and most of you are going to love it actually as you keep working on this specimen. And I have two other cuttings of this, which I'm planning to make mames out of. So you can, but then right now they are right in the initial stage. I've just wired the trunk and I've just left them to grow. After the show, I will take close-up pictures of this and I will post it in the comment section. So for those of you who want to verify what exactly is a Pemphis, you can look at the leaf, you can look at the flower. The flower is also very, very attractive. Let me see. I did have a few flowers. I think I just chopped them off. The flower is also very, very attractive. White color flower. White color flower. Can you see there? The white color flower over there. Very, very attractive. And that flower turns into a fruit. I mean, if the pollination happens, that turns into a fruit. But then when I've been doing my research, and you can see the amount of buds that these keep giving, a lot of buds, a lot of flower. So very profusely, all I do is I just give it an NPK and nothing much. And once in a while, like I give it only potash, I give to all, I mean, not only to my Pemphis, I give it to all my flowering plants. Once in a while, I give them only potash rather than giving nitrogen, so that it boosts their, flowering and fruiting ability. So the Pemphis is working very well in that way, and you can do it like that. So, and another thing about the defoliation is instead of removing the full leaf, my advice would be cut the leaf into half. And it works much better than removing the full leaf. The shoot comes very fast when you are cutting the leaf to half rather than when you are plucking the leaf, because I had done that experiment also on this tree, and I could see the results of a half cut and a full removal. There was a lot of change in the interval of the shoots coming. So that's as much as I really want to tell you all about Pemphis. If I have missed out anything, and if you really want to know anything, kindly just put your comment over there so that I can help you and I can answer, and Jayanti will read it out for me. So Jayanti, is there any questions? Jayanti, any questions? Dr. Rajkumar, you can, this plant right now, it's not very commonly available in India. It's not very commonly available in India, but now it's going, like there are people starting to propagate it. So you can get it in Mumbai. So far. You can get it with Shakti and Hema Mehta, the Nisarg bonsai nursery that is there, or you can get it from Sailesh Kapadia. These are the two people who have this variety right now. So you can contact them, and maybe you will be able to get it, sir. Anything else? Jayanti? I mean, once I designed this, you can just see how. Pardon me. Can you repeat it, Jayanti? Yeah. Goa. You mean I'm not available in Goa, sir, but it will grow very well in Goa. I don't think it will be available, but kindly go and just check the mangroves. If you have mangroves in Goa, kindly go and check it out there. I'll put a picture of the plant in the comment section once the show is over. Kindly go and check if it is there in the mangroves over there. But what I have heard is it's not available in the Indian coast. It is not available, but it is available in the Lakshadweep Islands. In the Lakshadweep Islands, you're able to get a good. I mean, these specimens are available in the mangrove over there. So, chalo, if anybody wants, we can go to Lakshadweep and start a manhunt over there. Vijayanti is asking me when is the when is the reporting time for this? End of Feb you can do a reporting. Rainy season you can do a reporting. I have not seen any thing. Don't do it in winter because on winter it is usually lots of flower. I mean, it's not only in winter that there is a lot of flower. Profusely, I've always seen flower on this specimen. Whenever I've tried to go and kind of give it a cut or do a pruning or something like that, I always find there are flowers on it. So my serious advice: end of February or the rainy season, you can do a reporting for this according to the Indian climate or the Sri Lankan climate, because there are a lot of Sri Lankan people watching me right now.
Okay, now can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, Vidya now wants to know, is it fast growing?
Yeah, it is very fast growing. In 3 years, I was able to get this thickness. In 3 years. So it is quite fast growing.
Can it be used for painting?
Yes, because the leaf is very small. You can do amazing pinchings if you buy multiple, if you have multiple plants. Anybody else?
You have grown it for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 3 years. Any more?
No.
Sujata, do you have any doubts? I mean, anything that you want to know about this specimen? I mean, I've seen 2 people in India having this, which are I think imported specimens of this, and they look very lovely. Especially when you do gin and shari on these, they look amazing. The trunk is so beautiful for this because when it matures, it has that very rough bark finish on it. And when you do the gin and shari, always keep your shari smooth. So the rough bark and the smooth shari gives a beautiful texture between both, and it highlights the tree very nicely. Very nicely, because I've seen some very mature specimens. I've seen it in Indonesia, and they are simply amazing. I mean, the plants, they look like a piece of art. The bonsai, with the way they did the shari.
I want to know what is the roots like, what is the Nabari like?
Oh, you want to see the Nabari of this? Right now, I haven't yet worked on the Nabari because I'm just allowing it to grow wild. I haven't worked on the Nambari as yet, but if you want to see the Nambari, there you go. Can you see? If you want me to bring it a little closer there. And if you want me to pinch the tree, and show you, see how red it is? I mean, can you see that pinch over there? It's not showing properly. Yeah. Can you see that red over there? Can you see how red it is? It is not green in color, it is red in color. So sometimes I really feel very scared to kind of cut this, because every time I pinch it or I cut it, I feel like it's bleeding, kind of a thing.
Okay, so now I wanted to know is because the leaf size
The leaf doesn't have to reduce exactly, because right now my plant is not in the stage where I have to concentrate on leaf reduction. So, but then I'm not going to bother about the leaf reduction for this, because this is already the actual size of the leaf. So I don't think you will need anything smaller than this for a Mame, Shogun or a large bonsai, because this is wonderful actually. This is wonderful. But I'm 100% sure once I put it into a bonsai pot, the leaf will reduce a little. I'm sure it will reduce a little. But right now, I'm not concentrating on leaf reduction. I'm only concentrating on developing the tree as fast as possible. So I won't be. I haven't yet gone to the stage where I have to observe about leaf reduction, because when they are in growth bags, when your plants are in growth bags, usually the feed is so vigorous. So leaf reduction never happens when the feed is so vigorous. Yeah, I'm done with the tree also.
Okay, no more questions, I think.
No more?
No more questions.
And always, whenever you have a flowering and a fruiting variety, my advice, go for a cascade or a semi-cascade, because a cascade and a semi-cascade usually has a lot of pads on different levels, so they look very, very attractive. At least that's what I think always. Anything else? And please don't forget about the mother leaf technique that I told you all. Kindly do try it out. You will find a lot of change in your plants. You can just keep manipulating your plants the way you want it. Actually, bonsai, if you look at bonsai, never listen to what the plant gives you. Always make the plant give you what you want. That is a step. There are ways where you do it. When you make your bonsai give what you want, your bonsai turns out to be entirely different, and it works out exactly according to your imagination. I remember in 2016 or something, I did a live show on Facebook where I told, about how to make the plants listen to you when you're making it into a bonsai. I'll do another one again.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sanjay wants to know what is the active time
Yeah, so what I did was I first put it into I put it into a bag, not this bag, but a same similar size, a smaller size bag that was an 8-inch bag because it was like when I got the plant, it was something like this way. It was just something like this way, but it didn't have so many leaves, so it was something like this exactly, and it was like this way. And what happened was the moment I got it, always remember in bonsai there's something known as slip potting. There's something known as slip potting. What slip potting means is if you put a plant which is so small in such a big container, if you put it in such a big container, this actually suffocates. This actually suffocates and it doesn't grow as vigorously as a plant like this way, of this size, I mean. So what happens is when always any plant, when you have a particular, you look at the size and you have to put it in an apt container, a suitable container where you allow it. Now suppose this kind of a thing, I'll put it into an 8-inch bag. I'll put it into an 8-inch bag. I'll wait for it to grow nicely. I'll wait for the soil inside to completely root. And then what I will do is, if I want, now once it has got root bound, what I do is, I just tear the bag. I don't disturb the soil. Then I take the next size bag because by then the plant has already grown a little bigger. Then I take a little bigger bag. And what I do is, without disturbing the soil, I'll place it into a little bigger bag and I'll fill it in with fresh soil. So this is how. So this is what you mean by slip potting. Slip potting means gradually as the plant keeps growing, you keep shifting it into a bigger pot. So what happens is when you do that kind of way, what happens is your plant grows very efficiently. But if you put a small cutting like this way in such a big bag initially itself, because suppose you may have the impression that the more the soil, the faster the plant will grow. But what happens is this plant won't grow that vigorously. This size plant won't grow that vigorously in such a big container. So you need to go for a small container and gradually keep building up. So like that way, I've been building up. This is the third container right now. This is the third container for it. And I've been building it up like that way and I've been just growing it. And then the moment it grew, like I just allowed it to grow about 4 feet or something. And finally I gave it a chop right here on the head over here. I gave it a chop. Can you see the chop over here? I gave a chop over here because I wanted to make it into a cascade. So this is the lowest. This is actually the lowest branch at that time that was there. This was the lowest branch. So sir, I hope I answered your question.
Okay. So then Narco wants to know how do you choose a plant for a cascade?
See, many people, what they do is they usually put the cascade like how it is facing y'all right now. But for me, I don't like viewing my cascade from that view which you all are watching. I always like viewing my cascade either from this side or I like viewing it from this side. So what happens is when you are doing a cascade, the end of your cascade should come, if this is the front, the end of your cascade should move towards you and not away from you. That's it, man. And apart from that, you can always have an apex. You can always have an apex in cascades. In cascades always, make your apex, the height of your apex, 1/4 the length of your cascade. 1/4 the length of your cascade. Then what happens? Because in a cascade, the prominence should be on your cascade, not on your informal part of the tree. So if you keep a shorter apex, the prominence goes on to your cascade over there. So do not keep a tall apex over here, but keep a short apex. And I usually like the measurement of 1/4 the height of the cascade, the length of your cascade. So that means if I want an apex for this, I would have gone for that height. But I am making a cascade without an apex.
Wait, another question. Will it grow well in Delhi?
Delhi, the humidity, I said keep a bowl of water or keep it on a patch of lawn and I'm 100% sure it will grow very nicely because it's a very hardy plant. It's a very, very hardy plant.
Hardik Hussain wants to know when he wants you to repeat the name of the plant again, and then when will you remove the wire?
The wire we remove when it tightens against the tree, sir. And the name of the plant is Pemphis acidula. Pemphis acidula. Once I upload the video, this show on Facebook, the heading will be there, sir, so you can copy the name from there. Or it is on the poster that was put up yesterday. It is on that poster, and you can check it out over there. So these two are actually sacrifice branches. I'm just wiring it so that they don't go up like that way. I'm just wiring it, and after that I will layer them and I will make them into mames later on. So right now, what I do usually is instead of leaving them straight, I'll make them nice and curvy like this way. Just the initial part, I'll make them nice and curvy like that way, and I'll leave them off. So now meanwhile this will grow long and it will start creating taper for me over there. So I won't have so it becomes an instant mame material for me later on.
How long will it take this sacrificial branches grow?
How long? It just depends upon how satisfied you are with the taper. How satisfied you are with the taper, and once you're happy with your taper, you remove them. Yeah. Once you're happy, you remove them. So if you want to see the kind of bends I gave to the thing, I mean, those of you who want to do this kind of stuff, if you want to see how I gave the bends to the
Omar wants to know, does the plant grow easily?
see, these are the bends I've given to the sacrificial branches. Can you see the bends? So they become very good trunk lines for your mame when you remove them. So with that, the tree is over actually. Can you see? You can see a lot of bark pads thing. Now all I need to do is concentrate on the ramification. So I will defoliate it as it goes on and on. I'll defoliate it. So what happens is the ramification will increase further and further. Yeah, Uma ma'am wants to ask something. Omar, the cutting not so easy because I put about like 20 cuttings and I think only 2 of them grew. I mean, I made a mistake somewhere. I don't know where I made a mistake because it was the first time I was doing it. So what I'm planning to do is now this time whatever I've cut now, I'm planning to put them there and put a polythene on top so that I can create the humidity that it requires. I'll just keep 1 or 2 leaves. I mean, I'll just keep very few leaves. That is, suppose this is the branch. The lower portions you don't require to keep anything, and then I will remove some of the leaves like this way. And with this, I'll put it over there. I'll put the cuttings over there, and I'll put polythene on top, so that the humidity creates and the cabium doesn't dry up quickly and the rootage forms. And I'll put it in pure sand.
How long will it take?
I'm not 100% sure about that. It will take maybe 15 to 20 days. You can see some growth and all coming. It will take about 15 to 20 days. So no more questions. So that is it. I hope all of you have enjoyed it. I hope all of you have understood about the Pemphis. And try getting a specimen into your collection, and I'm 100% sure you will love it. because it's going to do it'll do very, very well for y'all, and y'all will love working on it also. And it can be an amazing specimen for y'all. For me, already the taper has formed. Very nicely. This is my front. That's my front. So it comes like that way.
So which is your front? What we are looking at is the front, or what when it faces you, it's your front.
What you are looking at is the front.
Front. So you're saying that
There.
the apex should be towards you, is what you're saying.
The apex of the cascade. Apex of the cascade should be towards you, and there it is towards me. Look here.
No, that is not the apex, that's the tip, no?
Yeah, the apex of the cascade. The apex of the cascade is this.
Okay.
The apex of your upright tree is over here.
Okay.
You understood? Yeah, the apex of your upright tree is here. The apex of your cascade is over here. So the apex of your cascade should always come towards the front. So I hope all of you have enjoyed this. So kindly just, it'd be nice to see all of you all having a Pemphis in your collection, because many people really didn't know about this specimen, and I really wanted to kind of introduce it to all of you all, so that you can all have another wonderful specimen in your bonsai collection. So try catching hold of a Pemphis. If any of the cuttings grow and survive, I'll give it to you all for free, for grabs. Any of you all. Okay? Simultaneously, there are so many questions over there on YouTube also. So all the YouTube viewers, I will answer your questions as soon as the show is over, and once I upload it onto the YouTube channel, onto my YouTube channel, I will answer all the questions individually, so that you will be able to. In case you have any questions, the YouTube viewers, kindly put up your questions there so that I can answer it for you all. So thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Have a nice time. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And also 2021, I'm planning to do a lot of these species reviews, mainly because the reason why I want to do a lot of species reviews to you all is the advantage of knowing a species is, once you know a species very well, what will happen is you will be able to adapt yourself in making that bonsai anyhow, and you will master it, kind of a thing. You will be able to do anything with that particular specimen. So 2021, I'm planning to begin with my favorite specimen, that is Premna. I'll be again doing a species review with Premna. I know all of you already know that I'm crazy after Premna. So I'm going to teach you all a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of stuff which some of you don't know about the Premna. So I'm going to help you out in how you adapt with Premna, how you make Premna into a beautiful bonsai. So kindly look forward to it. It will be coming on in January. You will be having another show. So every 15 days, I'll come up with a species review so that you'll be able to understand the species and better yourselves in bonsai. And also, when others are trying to do a species review, and if they're really good at the art, kindly go and listen to them, because species reviews play a very, very good impact on your hobby and on you making the bonsai, because species review teaches you exactly what that particular plant is. Now I've told you everything about Pemphis, so you don't have to do any experimentation on Pemphis, because I've already done the experimentation and I've shared it with all of you. So that is what is the advantage of species reviews. So I'll do another one. The next one is going to be Premna, and I'm sure all of you are going to have a lot of fun.